In this video, this is Daniel Bwala, the special advisor to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on policy and communication. He was caught in a web of his own lie. He was presented with all the statements he made against Tinubu in 2023 when he was a special advisor to Atiku Abubakar. He flatly denied it, but when he was presented with a video evidence, he was shocked and didn't know what to say. Guys, kindly like this video and subscribe to my channel.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's special advisor on policy communication, Daniel Bwala, was caught in a web of lies on Al Jazeera's head-to-head program hosted by Mehdi Hasan in an episode titled Nigeria, Renewed Hope or Hopelessness. Hasan presented Bwala with his own statements from 2023 when he was a spokesperson for Atiku Abubakar, including allegations of corruption, vote buying via bullion vans, militia creation, and death threats from Tinubu's camp. Well, Bwala flatly denied making any of the allegations. Well, Al Jazeera released the edited version of the interview with complete archival clips of Daniel Bwala alleging that Tinubu created a militia to influence his votes and that he received death threats from Tinubu's camp. Let's take a look.
Tinubu is one of the foremost politicians in Nigerian history.
Tinubu and his people created a militia. Who said those words, Daniel?
Tinubu has helped in strengthening democracy in Nigeria.
Tinubu and his people created a militia, Daniel. Who said those words?
Tinubu brought in leadership skills into governance.
Tinubu and his people created a militia. Who said those words?
Tinubu and his people never created the militias.
So why did you say they did on January 22nd, 2023?
I never said that.
The candidate of All Progressives Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and his people created a militia. This is the first time in the history of Nigeria we are seeing a political party creating a militant arm leading to election.
Does he have a militia that tried to kill you?
He doesn't have. I never said he tried to kill me.
We have seen violence in Nigeria, and I myself have received threats from him and his camp. Your words.
I never said that.
There is also this threat to life, and I can tell you that because I myself have received threats from Asiwaju and his camp.
You said it was so corrupt, the 2023 election, Tinubu's win. You said that you couldn't eat food for 3 days.
I never said that. Where?
And legitimate complaints were raised all over Nigeria. That part is what threw me off balance. In fact, I became so sick. For the past 3 days, I found it very hard eating food.
Tinubu is not just super rich. It's what he does with his wealth. In 2019, 2 armored money trucks, bullion vans, were seen going into his house, coming out of his house. Where did that money go?
No. Point, did you see the money? Or those who reported, did they see money inside the bullion van?
Was there no money in the bullion vans?
How am I to know?
You said it was money in the vans at the time,
I never
2023, February.
But there's only one person in Nigeria who is alleged to have moved money through bullion vans, and that person is on their ballot as the presidential candidate.
On the eve of the presidential elections, 2 cash-laden bullion vans, your words, were seen on the premises, which was ostensibly for vote buying. Your words, January 22nd, 2023. Have you just disowned everything you've said in order to work for this president?
I'm coming. What you just said now, I want to put it on record, on my own honor. That's not what I said.
Well, in a post-interview statement, Bwala accused Hasan of opposition research-style journalism, insisting his earlier remarks were simply the job of opposition. And I'll read Daniel Bwala's statement in part. He wrote, "When I signed on the privileged job granted to me by Mr. President, I was well aware of its implications. Selling ice cream, looking fine, and seeking the praises of men were never part of it. Some of the fiercest critics of my interview cannot even stand local TV anchors, but the task of promoting and defending the president and his administration is what I do with ease and joy. Head to Head contacted me requesting an interview, stating that they wanted to challenge our government on security, the economy, and corruption. Nowhere in our almost 6 months of communication did they mention that they were going to challenge my past. If that had been their plan, ethically and professionally, they were supposed to inform me so I could prepare my response. But that's okay. Ethically, that's on them, not on me. I refuse to swallow the pill of Mehdi's opposition research-style journalism. And even today, if you carefully compare what he read as quotes from organizations and groups, you will see that many were inaccurate and some were outright fake news. But I will leave that for another day. As for what I said about President Tinubu in the past, I am glad those were things I said when I was in the opposition, saddled with such zeal. It is all politics. Half of Donald Trump's cabinet is made up of people who once spoke against him, and quite a number of people in our own cabinet also spoke against President Tinubu in the past. Those things do not bother him if you care to know. Of course, Rufai, you know that Nigerians are not buying it. And, you know, social media has made sure of that. The clips are damning. And the phrase, "I never said that," is now a punchline across the country. And I'll take Gray's tweet. He wrote, "Daniel Bwala, this isn't a press statement. It is a confession of moral bankruptcy. By saying your past attacks on Tinubu were just politics, you admit you were either a liar then or you are a hired gun now. Which is it? Principles aren't a jacket you change because the weather in the State House is nicer. You're upset Mehdi Hasan didn't warn you. Bring up your own words, bro. An intellectual doesn't need a script to defend his character unless that character is a fiction. We already know your 2027 script. When this administration ends, you'll be back on TV saying, "I was just doing my job," while pivoting to the next bidder. You aren't defending the government. You are defending your paycheck. You didn't go to head-to-head to represent Nigeria. You went there to audition for a man whose values loyalty over truth. You claim you have brave defense, but all we saw was a man drowning in his own archives. This is another post on X from George. I believe he's from Ghana. He wrote, "I watched this interview of the Nigerian politician with Mehdi Hasan on Al Jazeera, and all I can say is sorry to our Nigerian friends. I know African politics can be shameless, but Nigerian politicians seem to be beyond shameless. I sincerely can't imagine how they must feel watching that interview." Well, you know what? Daniel Bwala has now released a clip which fact-checks key moments from the interview, debunking some of Hassan's claims as well as on Nigeria. Let's take a look.
Nigeria is a proud, sovereign, independent nation, a powerhouse in Africa. So why did you just let Donald Trump and the United States bomb your country on Christmas Day?
The United States government did not bomb our country. The decision by the U.S. government was anchored on the intelligence sharing between Nigeria and the United States and the agreement on the operation.
You have a history of not hitting terrorists and hitting civilians. You know that, right? Your country.
I'm not aware.
Oh, well, on December 21st, the Nigerian Air Force said that they handed over compensation to people who were hit in an accidental airstrike on Christmas Day 2024. Do you just bomb every Christmas?
When and when?
Christmas Day 2024 and Christmas Day 2025.
I dispute that fact.
We'll take it up with the Nigerian Air Force. President Tinubu said in August, there is no more corruption in Nigeria. That's a ridiculous thing to say, is it not?
We investigate any case of corruption, not just in the defense, but anywhere in government. This administration has had lots of people who are in government, either sacked or investigated and being prosecuted. The resolve of our administration in dealing with corruption is obvious.
Why did he say there's no more corruption?
You probably read him out of context.
No, I didn't.
No, read exactly what he said. You're cherry picking. How can someone just stand and say there is no corruption in Nigeria?
It is getting clearer to the people. We have more money to the economy and no more corruption. Full stop, close quote.
Good. So this is the context.
The reform that I've embarked upon since I took over in Nigeria has been very impactful. I can beat my chest for that. It was initially painful, but today the result is blossoming. It's getting clearer to the people. We have more money to the economy. no more corruption.
This is terrorist scum.
Right.
And every camp got decimated. But a lot of investigative reporting on the ground shows that few, if any, combatants were killed. Some bombs landed in empty fields. A local leader in one of the districts said, the same militants we knew are still there, loitering around our communities.
No. There were killings of terrorists.
That's not what local leaders
So
are
I
saying.
can call local television that testified. Arise News did, Channels Television did.
To ISIS and other terror groups in the Sahel. It is to eliminate these terrorists that the United States fired several missiles at Tangaza on Christmas Day. These exclusive drone images taken after the strike show the terrorist valley hideouts in Kawuri Kandam and Malgam. Both communities have been cordoned by security operatives who are presently undertaking clearance operations within the vicinity.
Our export production capacity has gone up. Our naira is strengthened. We have provided opportunities for families who could not afford to send their kids to school to access grant and go and have their education, cost of fee, tuition fee, as well as the cost of living.
You mentioned school. 20,000 schools in Nigeria have been shut in the last few months because of these kidnappings.
Came into
Why
politics.
Deloitte say they have no record of him working?
You remember he was a senator.
Tunde, why does Deloitte say they have no record of the man working for them?
That is not the right thing.
Waiting patiently.
As a fact check, Deloitte denied that they said he never worked for them.
The Deloitte trained me as an accounting firm. No one has attested to my record, a standing record. I got to the pinnacle of my career. In the private sector, who among them can brag about?
Dr. Abati, you were a spokesman to former President Goodluck Jonathan. I'd like for you to share with us some of your thoughts on, the saga that unfolded over the weekend.
Okay, the first thing is, as a spokesperson, it's not every platform that you go to. You choose your platform wisely. In this particular case, I think there is an error of judgment on the part of Daniel Bwala. He said in negotiation about the interview took about 6 months, and he was told he was going to address specific subjects about the performance of the Tinubu administration with specific emphasis on security, poverty, and corruption. But then he got there and he was ambushed. Okay, now that excuse does not wash. If he had been following the program stated by, anchored by Mehdi Hasan, he would know that he's a very biased, conflicted, controversial anchor. People say it is style, but some people will say, well, it's bad journalism. If we check his history, you see that he tends to turn his guests into a straw person. He tries to lie by omission, and he tries to intimidate you. Now, some people will say it's style, but it looks like bad journalism, because this inquisitorial approach, once you already have an opinion about the subject, why invite the guest? Yes. You might as well stay on the screen and express all opinions yourself. He has had issues with regard to abortion, with regard to LGBTQ communities, with regard to Gaza, with regard to his mischaracterization of Muslims. And so he himself is as controversial as anybody else can be. Now, if you know that this is the character of the anchor, you are not duty-bound to go there. There are many people who say, no, this particular anchor, because of his style, because of his offensive journalism, we will not go there. Yeah. So he made himself available. So you cannot go there now and be talking about contest. Half of the time, the anchor didn't even allow him to speak. So if he had done his own work, he would not go to that channel to go and talk. The second thing, I hope he will learn his lesson. It's also that the internet never forgets. No. If you say you were in the opposition, you said certain things about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, something that is even known to everybody in Nigeria, anybody who can just fact-check anything. You don't then go there and say, I never said that. I never said that. If you said it, own up to it. Yes. You don't need to say it is a contest. So the manner of his response
is also something, that has infuriated people and that has given opportunity to persons who have been critical of his work with the Tinubu administration, with his lack of consistency, with his lack of principle. It is what has given them the ammunition to say, well, this is the thing about Daniel Bwala. Yeah. But he has collected the embarrassment with his chest. I hope he has learned his lessons. In his commentary, he didn't say he has learned any lessons. He needs to learn certain lessons about that job and to make sure that he doesn't make that kind of mistake in the future. However, I think the Nigerian media is also part of the problem. We create these people. Any dumbbed that comes around that wants to speak on television, you invite them, you give them platform because you are also looking for guests, and then they become whatever they want to become. They use you to climb, and then they turn around and talk derisively about local anchors.
Local TV anchors.
Yes, we are supposed to be local TV anchors. So, we'll take out of the blame. The media in Nigeria must learn, to choose wisely also in terms of the kind of people you give your platforms to and that you iconize. When they go to international TV, those ones, who also have biases, who have prejudices, as Mehdi Hasan showed clearly, the word I would like to use would be racist, but I don't think I want to go that far. Then they get exposed because they don't have respect for you. But here in Nigeria, we tend to pamper people. Anybody who knows next to nothing, who wants to talk, you put the microphone in their mouth and they suddenly become superstars.
Dr. Matt, it's content. It's content.
It's content.
It's not context. It's content. It's content. We need content.
Okay.
Content.
Yeah,
all right.
Thank you for teaching me.
Daniel Bwala has taught us content.
So guys, I haven't watched the video. What do you make out of it? What do you think? Do you agree with Daniel Bwala's submission that he never expected a question from that angle and that it was a kind of a deception? Or do you see it as a tactical ambush just to rubbish Daniel Bwala? Well, whatever you think, please drop your thoughts in the comment box. But let me reiterate it here, that in politics, whoever you are working for today does not mean that the person you are attacking presently, you may not work for the person tomorrow. Whatever tantrum or attack you are throwing at the opposition, be very mindful, because tomorrow you may end up working with that person and the media house may remind you of those things you have done. And at that time, it will become very somehow or probably very shameful. Okay guys, thank you for watching, and don't forget to drop your thought in the comment box, and please kindly like this video and subscribe to my channel so that whenever we drop a new video, you'll be the first to receive the update. Thank you again for watching. God bless you.